Hey, what's going on, everybody? So the question is Jett Lawrence falling apart under the pressure? This comes from his recent performance at the Triple Crown at Anaheim 2, where he crashed twice and had a bad finish in sixth. And I think we're jumping to conclusions on this statement. I think that, of course, the pressure will get to him to an extent, especially with the events that transpired between him and Jason and the crowd booing him at Anaheim. However, how much is that really negatively impacting him? I don't think is as much, or I don't think we can confirm that it's as much as people are saying. Well, firstly, I think he wins Anaheim 1. He got out front in the second turn, and then just kind of was able to ride his own race from there. And then you get a couple of races where you get mud, so that kind of evens out everything. And in this race, this Triple Crown, he just had bad starts. That comes into my point one is that the fields are stacked. And the stacked field, it's not like the 250 class where you can get a bad start and you can kind of work your way up all the way to the front of the pack. We're seeing that he can't work all his way all the way up to first. One time in the 250 heat, he managed to be dead last because he crashed and go on to win that heat race. Well, here you have a lot of 250 champs. A harder class to pass. All the lap times are closer, and I think we're just seeing how much harder it is when you get a bad start to make your way through the field. I do think he's one of the faster riders out there, if not the fastest. But I think you're seeing like a true experience with the 450 class. I think in the outdoors, I think he had a little bit of help with a lot of injuries. There weren't as many guys there, and the guys that were there were all really coming back to outdoors and didn't race the year prior. Chase did give him a lot of pressure at times, and Chase was there, but otherwise like he couldn't get a bad start in outdoors. And now we're seeing the effects of a bad start, and we actually saw it in the first race, in the first moto in Charlotte at this SMX playoffs. I think it is important to note that there's a lot of guys that focus solely on Supercross, and you get the off season going into it. And you got guys like I think Cooper Webb was obviously going to be better in Supercross because he hopped on a new bike during the outdoors and went straight into the SMX. And I think he got a little bit banged up when he went onto the new bike. So SMX was really good for him to test the bike. Now we got more riders getting more comfortable, and it's just a harder class overall to make passes in. And I think that leads to he's just learning there's a learning curve that he's not going to win every race, and that he's got to kind of accept that, especially if he gets bad starts. I know he won Anaheim 1. There's a big deal. Is he going to go undefeated in Supercross? That is impossible, even for Jett, even for the speed he has. If you get a bad start in Supercross in the 450 class, it's so much harder to make your way through the pack that some of those lead guys might have a gap that you're just going to have to settle for whatever position you can fight your way up to. There's no need to charge all the way to the front or push it to the point where you go down. You just kind of have to accept if you can only get into fifth place because of a bad start, you're getting fifth place. And I think he's learning that lesson quick. And now this last race, yes, he made a lot of mistakes. You could argue that the pressure was getting to him. You could also argue that he just has bad experiences in Triple Crowns. This is nothing new. We've seen this time and time and again from Jett, where he goes down and on Triple Crowns and he has to fight his way through the pack, and he does it again, or he has one bad race, and he's actually only won one Triple Crown race overall in his career so far. So this is nothing out of the ordinary for Jett. So it's hard to say that this pressure that he got from this Anderson situation is really getting to him or not. I think also something to note was I felt like there were a lot of times where he put himself into some bad situations when he's in the 250 class in Supercross. I'm a little concerned that he's going to keep doing that, at least for the moment, in the 450 class, but he's got to find a way to stay clean off the starts and just put himself in better positions. He's just got to get better starts. Like I said, in Anaheim 1, he got in the lead in the second turn, and then that was really it for the race. He just kind of managed it and kept Jason behind him, and that's all he had to do. I do think it'll be interesting as everybody gets better, like if he gets in the lead, is somebody going to track him down, how he responds to that. I'll be interested to see if somebody passes him when he's in the lead, kind of something that he's not necessarily used to. But I think time will tell. I think we're jumping the gun on the question of if the pressure is getting to him. I think it's just the realization that Supercross, specifically in the 450 class, is much harder than maybe he even realized it was going to be. So he just needs to keep his head up, and he'll be fine. Now, I do want to see somebody like Eli Tomac or Cooper Webb go out and win the championship overall, honestly, if I'm being honest, because I don't know how many more years they have to do that. But Jett will be fine. He shows speed. He shows that he's one of the fastest, if not the fastest guy out there. He just needs some time to come around and kind of get used to it and accept the fact that he can't just work his way all the way through the field like he did in the 250 class. And that's all I have to say. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.